Hello everyone and welcome to the third and final part of the Lilo Stitch remake review. If you haven't watched the first two parts, I highly recommend that you watch them before you watch this part in order to better understand everything that I say in this video. For those of you that have already watched the first two parts, let us proceed forward. So when we last left off, I was going over the many controversial changes that this movie made to the original. And for this third part, I want to specifically focus on what is easily the most controversial change this movie makes from the original. That being, the ending of the movie is completely different. And I know that people are going to get mad at me for saying this. I really don't want this to come off the wrong way. I know people are going to get angry at me for saying this, but I have a hard time getting mad at this movie's ending. I'm not defending it. I'm not saying that it's good. It's not that I'm not angry at this movie's ending. It's that I'm unable to be angry at this movie's ending due to personal circumstances that I've been going through recently. I think I've made it abundantly clear throughout my previous videos all throughout this year so far that I haven't been doing all that well mentally, and I think it's very obvious why my mental health is the way that it is today. Earlier this year, around like February or so, I was convinced that my family, at least like a good amount of people in my family, allowed for everything that's happened this year in America to happen. I really do not want to go into too much detail about it because, I want to keep this brief. I don't want to go into detail about it, but it did negatively affect the way that I looked at my family. It affected the relationship that I had with my family, especially my mom. Because of the way my mental health is in this day and age, I start having these like episodes, these just random bursts of fit and whatever, just these little fits and whatnot, these bursts of anger out of nowhere. And I would get mad at like my family, my mom specifically, for just seemingly allowing for everything that's happened the last couple of months to happen. And then it turns out they might have not have done anything at all, or at least my mom didn't. I don't know about the others, but like my mom did not do what I initially thought that she did. My mom did something at the end of 2024 that I was really angry at her for doing. At least I thought she did. And then it turns out, no, she did something completely different. It's a long story and I don't want to go into it, but it did negatively affect my relationship with my family, especially with my mom, and it did sour the way that I look at my mom, even if it's been seemingly resolved. Combine that with the fact that I have people in my family that have directly contributed to things being the way that they are today, and I try to like cut ties with them, and then more often than not my mom just brushes it off as a joke, like it's not important or anything like that. I have a family member that lives out of town in another state, and sometimes every year, especially during the summertime, we would go to this other state to spend time there because I have a lot of family there, including this one specific family member that I used to think was really cool and I used to like him, and then I found out something about him that made me change the way that I looked at him. Actually, when I first found out about it, this was back in 2023, and I didn't think much of it at the time because it was 2023 and I thought, oh, it's no big deal. It's not like things could take a turn for the worse or anything like that. And, well, look where we are now 2 years later. And I'm trying my absolute hardest to just cut contact, to cut ties with this person in my family, which is already extremely easy because he lives in a completely different state, but still, it makes me a lot more wary of wanting to go and visit that other state just to see other family there. I know this might sound petty, but like, I don't care. This is just how I feel. Why would I ever want to willingly spend time with someone who has directly contributed to my mental health being the way that it is for this year and for the next couple of years. Why would I ever want to spend time with someone that has made me feel hopeless and pessimistic for the future? In 2024, I felt like things were gonna get good for me. I had a bright future ahead of me. You know, I graduated high school and I thought things would finally be getting good for me. And, you know, they were good in the latter half of 2024. And then just like that, it's like, no, I don't deserve to have good things happen to me. It's just like that, a complete 180. All of this good stuff that I had, all of the good stuff I could have had, just yanked out from me, just like that. Like, no, I don't deserve to have good things happen to me. Do I want to spend time with someone who has allowed for all of this stuff to happen just because he's family? No. I wouldn't. If any of you watching this, if you were in my position, you would be doing the same thing. You would be doing the same thing very easily. I have a very hard time getting mad at this movie for betraying the message of Ohana or whatever when I don't even like my own Ohana right now. It's really hard for me to pull the old Dom Toretto in this situation. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not saying that people shouldn't be mad at this movie for changing the ending of the original. I'm not saying people shouldn't be mad for any of the changes that are in this movie in general. I am unable to get angry at this movie's ending, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be a corporate shill or anything like that. That doesn't mean I'm going to be a bootlicker now and I'm going to be like, oh, the people that hate this movie, they're wrong. This movie's actually good. The ending is good. I'm not just going to blindly assume everyone that hates this movie only hates it because, oh, it's a live action remake and it's making a lot of money at the box office. And then I just completely ignore the actual reasons why people hate this movie. Even if I disagree with the criticisms, I would still acknowledge why people feel this way about this movie. I'm not defending the ending of this movie or anything like that. I'm not saying this movie's ending is good. I'm just saying it's hard for me to get mad at it due to personal circumstances. And even if I was angry at this movie's ending, what difference is that gonna make, honestly? This movie has still made a lot of money at the box office. I could cry and scream as much as I want about this movie's ending. That won't change the fact that the movie's already made a lot of money. The $600 million that are in this movie's box office will not just magically disappear if I criticize the ending. Something that I understand, that I think all of you should understand as well, is that the internet is not real life. General audiences don't care about whatever changes this movie makes to the original. They don't care about whatever themes and implications could come up from this movie changing certain things from the original. They don't care about that at all. They just want to see funny, cute alien, and that's it. And there is nothing that any of us could do about that. It's as simple as that. This is not going to be another Snow White. The controversies surrounding this remake will not affect its box office performance. The worst it'll do is probably prevent the movie from making $1 billion, but even then it'll probably make $999 million instead. How is it that there have been 3 movies this year that have been completely affected by current events to the point where they change the way that I look at and talk about these movies? I was hesitant and reluctant to talk about the Snow White remake, even though it's objectively a terrible movie, just because there are a lot of people that hate it for the wrong reasons, and that if I made a video going over why I thought the movie was bad, I would end up attracting either people that hate the movie for the wrong reasons or people that assume that I hate the movie for the wrong reasons. Because of current events, because of how depressing the world is right now, I was somehow able to gaslight myself into thinking the Minecraft movie was good. And now because of current events, I'm unable to get mad at the Lilo and Stitch remake for just completely betraying the main message that the original movie had. Granted, for this one, it's also due to personal circumstances, but there is a connection between these personal circumstances and the current real-world events that have been going on. How the hell has this happened 3 times? That's what I want to know. Okay, so in conclusion, the Lilo and Stitch remake sucks because the hot lifeguard woman from the original movie is completely absent in this remake. I mean, Jesus, Disney, this is still technically the best live-action Disney remake, but like, you know, you could have made it even better. You could have made it even better. You had one job, Disney. You had one job, and you blew it. Nice going. Anyways, that's about it. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to like, and if you're new to the channel, maybe consider subscribing, as it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you everyone for watching this video, and I will see y'all next time. Adios.